Hey guys, want to do a quick video on some of the things that I see coming down the pike because, times are changing a little bit. This is not a doom is gloom type video. I'm not going to, tell you all the things that are wrong in the industry or anything like that. But if you've come across this video, I want to point a few things out that I think might surprise you as we continue down this road. And so one thing is, obviously economies go up and down, but across the board, I am just seeing how things are rising in costs. I've seen some other heating and air guys kind of talk about the same thing. I'm in a few heating and air groups, if you will, and we, chat about this stuff. We're seeing material costs go up. We're seeing equipment costs go up. Just every year, they're rising. And of course, that's nothing new, right? I mean, as time goes on, the cost of living and, inflation and all that stuff, of course, things go up. But we're starting to see things just kind of rise a lot. We're seeing, and there's different reasons. I'm not going to do a video on all the reasons or I definitely don't want to get into politics and things like that. But we're definitely seeing where raw material costs have gone up. And we're seeing at times some of these companies, they'll send out notices saying, hey, we need to raise our prices 12%, 20%. I mean, we're not talking about chump change here. But I wanted to point a few other things. I've heard it said that, we're seeing more and more where, kids just don't want to get into the trades, right? I remember that being said as I was coming up and learning the trade, and how a lot of kids just want to go to college. They want to learn something that they learn from there, use their degree and so on. And so we just don't see a lot of young adults getting into the trades, people that would probably do really well with it. And because of that, what that means, why does that matter? How does that translate to, say, a homeowner that is getting work done in their home? Well, I think ultimately what you'll see is it's going to be harder to find somebody good at what they do, right? As this old timer generation starts to retire and so on like that, if there's no one to fill their spot, then it's going to be more cutthroat to find someone good, right? And then probably the pricing, so salaries for a lot of these people is going to go up. It's going to be harder to find good people. And when you find them, they're going to be worth a lot more because they're just in such high demand. We're seeing things like, because of labor shortages and the pandemic and things like that, we're seeing salaries rise in other industries as well. So if you take somebody that, for example, historically, people that worked in fast food were some of the lower paid individuals. Well, if they're getting paid more, then you're going to see somebody that's a skilled professional expect to be paid more as well. We're also seeing more things like when you're talking about a global economy, imports and things like that, when you're talking about tariffs and things that can affect pricing like that kick into play more so in the last few years. And the final thing that I'll just throw out there is supposedly we're hearing that there's this new refrigerant that's going to be coming out. They're going to be doing away with 410A. I did a whole video on that, and I think there's some uncertainty when it comes to that. I was originally told that a lot of the newer refrigerants are going to be lower pressures like R22 was, and so they're not going to require as thick of a metal, to contain that high pressure 410A. And so it would require less raw materials to actually build the equipment because the metal won't need to be as thick. That was something I was told originally back when this first came down the pike. I remember when the guy told me that, I said to him, yeah, right. I'll be surprised when I see the day that equipment prices drop, right? But on top of that, because of new refrigerants coming out, I'm also being told that the lower pressures ain't quite true either. So some of these refrigerants that they're talking about using, I'm avoiding talking about them because certain brands are saying that it's going to be this and certain brands are saying that. And who knows? I'm sure somebody will comment on this and say that they know, which is fine. They know the future better than I do. But ultimately, what it means to you as the homeowner, we're seeing newer stuff come out, newer technologies. And again, I think that could affect pricing as well. A lot of this stuff is something to consider on their own, but when you start considering everything together, and of course the economy, if it were to be up or down, and then finally we're starting to see other individuals start to invest in the industry and supposedly come out with newer technologies. I did a whole video on that as well, talking about famous people that are starting to invest in the industry, and we'll see what that brings too. So a lot of changes coming. I'm going to try to keep up with everything on this YouTube channel, so definitely follow us, definitely subscribe, click that bell. And when this newer stuff, anything comes out like that, I'm definitely going to touch on it. And then finally, if you are in the market for a new heating and air system, if you're in the Middle Peninsula or Northern Neck of Virginia, give us a call, Griffin Air. We would love to earn your business. But if you're not in our coverage area, you're somewhere else in the country and you are in the market for a new heating and air system, before you spend thousands, check out my new website. It's called newhvacguide.com. I'll put a link to it down in the comments. And this website, I basically wrote a book, made it a guide, put it on this website, and instead of having a book that would be outdated within a year or two, I'm able to constantly add things on there if new things come out. And the other thing is I've even put information on there that people in our industry don't even want you to know. So I've got a whole page called no-nos and, you know, just things to stay away from and so on. That being said, thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time.